Hey everybody, Jake Klein, Photon Travels. Woo! A bunch of videos lined up that I need to do, but I thought I would start off with today's adventures. If you're wondering, I don't know if you can see in this light, dirty, filthy, greasy hands, even though I washed them 30 times. So I had a check engine light come on a few days ago. I'm going to go over here. We're in the shade. There we go. I had a check engine light come on, and my diesel Sprinter went into what is called Limp Mode. It's a wonderful word for it, but basically what it sounds like when something's not running the way it should. Anyhow, so there's a leak in the turbo resonator. Not sure about the leak part, but definitely the turbo resonator had oil. I also bought, just in case, the top and bottom hot and cold hoses for the turbo, but I'm hoping it's just the resonator and I can return those. But it was quite the fiasco. When it goes into limp mode, your Sprinter van or Sprinter motorhome basically slows down to about 35-40 miles an hour, and it won't rev past about 3,000 RPM, so you're basically going nowhere fast or somewhere slow. Yeah. So anyhow, it was not too difficult to take it all apart. Once I finally figured out how to take it apart, where all the bolts were hidden and everything like that, some of them are easy and some of them are hidden, I got to it and there was oil all over it. I already cleaned most of that up, so that when I get the new one in, I can put that in. Speaking of the new one, so I rode Little Red. That is, let's see if you can see her. There she is. That's Little Red. And went down to my local Dodge dealership and had to special order the part. Unfortunately, you pay a lot more for that, so it was $105 for that part, and I paid about $130 for the hoses. I got a smoking deal on those. Those would have been about $260 or $280, but a friend of mine works at one of the auto parts store out here, so he gave me his discount, so that was awesome. So I may actually just keep the hoses just in case. But in any case, hopefully this part tomorrow for $105, this turbo resonator, will be the problem. And Petey, this is Petey, will be back on the road, even though I'm basically dry camping out. Not basically, I am dry camping out here at the Elks Lodge in Henderson, Nevada. I've done a few videos about that. Basically, it's concrete slab, or you can park over there in the dirt. It's pretty even. And I still got a sticker from 1,000 Trails over there. I guess I should probably pull that off. Look, I really am Jake Klein. See, I didn't lie. Anyhow, it's gone. So a lot of things happening. I have been affected, not infected. Let me reiterate. I have been affected by the coronavirus, in that, as a photographer, in general, anywhere, but in Vegas, I had 2 gigs this week, each for $450 of 2-hour photography, cancel on me because people were fearful of the coronavirus. And therefore, they canceled the conventions. One was a convention, one was an award show. So they canceled that on me. Sorry if I'm moving around and you're getting dizzy. And as a result, I'm out $900 that I was really counting on. And of course, then this happens and I have to spend a couple $100 on this. But, you know, that's part of the RV life. For those of you watching this, wondering, you know, what to budget. Do I have to worry about things breaking down? Yes, it's an RV. You're driving it across country. Unless you're parking it in an RV resort and it's sitting there for years, then you don't have to worry about it. Otherwise, yes, you're going to have parts go out. You're going to have to put new tires, which I have on the front. And I only have one remaining tire from when I started this trip 2 years ago. The rest of the tires are all brand new now. In fact, I had to buy one 2 days ago. So yes, when I did my due diligence and research in what the RV lifestyle was going to be like and what were the important things that I needed to know, there were several YouTubers or YouTube personalities that had mentioned different varieties of budgets, and all of them kind of agreed that you should put some kind of a budget aside. Everybody had a different price. Some were saying put $100 a month aside. Some were saying $300 a month aside. Some were saying, just make sure you have money. Well, that's easy to say. It's smarter to budget. So I have put aside about $250 to $300 a month. And so when this kind of stuff comes up, I don't go into a panic mode because that money is there. And that's what it's there for. So far, I've had to buy 5 tires on the road at anywhere from $120 to $210 a piece, depending on where I was. And in one circumstance, I was in Canada, so it was, I think it was 165 CA, which is Canadian. I don't know what that translated to. Probably about the same as the American dollar was probably about 127, something like that. In any case, yes, so definitely put a budget aside, and I kind of got off track with that one, but I try to teach lessons along the way. As I'm learning lessons, one of the lessons being a turbo resonator can go out, and so people might ask, hey Jake, where are you getting all this vast knowledge from? I'm going to tell you my secret. Thankfully from chat sites, from Facebook sites. So I belong to a site, I'm going to give them a quick shout out, the Facebook View Navion site. This is not a View, but it is an Itasca Navion, and they are pretty much exactly the same thing. So an 08 View is 24J is identical to Itasca Navion 24J, which means it's the same Mercedes engine and trans, and so pretty much everything is the same. And whenever I have a question, I post it up there, and pretty quickly I get a response. So I wasn't sure what the turbo resonator's name was. I took pictures of it, posted it on the Facebook group, and within 5 minutes somebody said, hey, not only is this what the name of it is, but here is a link to 2 different places that you can order it. I did not order it from them because it would have taken about 4 or 5 days to get out here. I ordered it from a local dealership, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and I got it for about the same price I would have paid to expedite the shipping to try to get it here. Within the next couple of days. Now I have it here tomorrow morning, so that will be nice. Pop that in, and hopefully that fixes the problem. So yeah, Facebook groups, I probably have joined and continue to join 40 of them pertaining to full-time RVing, boondockers, dry camping, solar, because I run solar system, solar for dummies. I've made friends with some of the people that are big in the industry, like Brian Boone. He does major installs. I trust his knowledge and his advice 100% on everything about that. The reason I paused is my mom was calling at the same time. I'll call her right back. I'm going to finish the video. Sorry, Ma. And yeah, a lot of people have been really helpful along the way, and I like to think that I have taken the time to do the same. Give advice to those starting out and helping hand. In fact, one gentleman I met at Thousand Trails here in Las Vegas had just started 2.5 months ago. He bought himself a used RV. He's been fixing it up, big bus RV, and me and several other people in the campground put in a really good word for him to get hired there, and he is now the newest employee of Las Vegas Thousand Trails. So Right on, Robert. So, and you know, it's all about just talking to people and asking questions. But for those of you who don't do a lot of the camping at the campgrounds, where you can interact with a lot of people who've been doing this for a long time and get their, you know, hands-on advice, definitely join the Facebook groups. You will learn so much, and there's a million of them. Just type in, once you're on Facebook, type in RVers or full-time RVers. And what did I join? I also joined single RVers over 50, and you know, figured what the heck, you know, so maybe I could meet somebody along the way, as some of the fellow YouTubers have been lucky enough to do. But yeah, definitely join the Facebook groups, and you'll get great advice. And of course, again, I want to thank everybody on the View Navion site on Facebook. They have been very helpful in some of the stuff that has come up. It's really nice to join a group that is pertaining to exactly what it is that you are driving around. So a lot of the problems that I have occurred, they have been very helpful with, and I think I've answered a few questions for some people who I had actually come across problems that they had just experienced and I had a solution to. So it's a lot of sharing and a lot of love. So another reason I really am enjoying the RV adventures and the RV lifestyle. So peace, enjoy. I'll include some pictures of some of the stuff I took of me taking it apart, and I'll probably add to this a follow-up video, or not a follow-up, but I'll add to this a video of me installing it and then maybe starting it up. So look for that as well if I don't attach it to this. Y'all have yourselves a good day. Peace. So here we go, part 2 of the turbo resonator fix. Now, number one, I have no idea. Hair's all messed up. I have no idea if this is going to fix the problem. I don't know if that one was bad. I know it was covered in oil inside and out, and that's definitely not good, but that doesn't indicate that that was the issue. That could just be part of the issue. So, as a precautionary measure, there are 2 other things that I purchased, and this is the, I'm not sure which is which, but yeah, turbocharger hose. One of them is the hot or input, or cold or input. One is hot, one is cold. One is pretty easy to put in, and then there's this one underneath, which requires me to basically yank out the whole front grill, and basically this whole thing, as well as not the radiator or radiator, depending on where you're from, but the coolant radiator. You know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, it doesn't matter. So yeah, this is where I'm at right now. As you can see, there's still a lot of oil all over the place. I cleaned up what I could, as far down as I could, and I tried to clean inside. I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can get the camera a little closer at a better angle. Sorry about that, folks. I am actually using my cell phone, which is probably not the most professional way to do it, but... And let's see where the thing is. So hopefully you can see right there, there's a lot of gook inside here. This is the turbo itself, and this is where the air gets sucked in. This is where the air blows out, and where the air is blowing out, there is a lot of oil, and that's definitely not good. So I'm actually going to try to clean that a little bit better before I put the new one on. And here I am again. Hello. So here's the new one. It cost me $105. Yes, you can find it cheaper in some places, but getting it overnighted from the dealership was $105, which would have been about the same if I ordered it from Parts Geek or any of these other ones. So this is the new part to replace the old part that's filthy, and this comes with the new, here, let me switch the way the camera is, go wide angle so you can see things a little better, and then I will get in a position where I'm not in the shade. Therefore, the product I'm showing you is not in the shade. There we go. Of course, I'm going to be squinting now, looking like I'm upset. I'm not upset. I'm just squinting because it's really bright out. So this is the new part, and it came with all new bushings, including here. The reason that is important is I have a feeling that might have been the issue. That little metal piece right there comes out, and it has an O-ring on it. Let me show you. Take this out of the way, put it up there. So here is the old one, and okay, so let me go back over here so again you can see. Here is the old metal piece and the O-ring, and I'm going to put it over the piece, and you will see that the O-ring is stretched out. See the gap? So that could have been the issue right there alone. But unfortunately, I didn't order just this part. I ordered the whole thing. I don't really care if it's $105 and it gets me back on the road without having to worry. Then I'm a happy camper. You know, would I rather spend less? Yes. But you know, if you're having this issue, maybe the first thing you want to do is take off the resonator, take a look at that particular O-ring. If it is warped, maybe just order that part, put it back on, see if that fixes it. But we're not talking about a $1,000 part, we're talking about a $100 part, so I went for it and got a new one. And if it makes it run cleaner and I get better gas mileage and a little more power, that would be fantastic. And yeah, so that's where we're at right now. So I'm going to clean out that one area as much as I can to get the rest of the residual oil and whatnot caked on there, off of there. And then I'm going to hopefully carefully and easily put back on the new turbo resonator, put it all back together, start it up, take it for a test drive, and fingers crossed, the next part of this video, yes, I should have worn rubber gloves, the next part of this video will be me saying, yay, it's fixed, and Petey's back on the road. That's Petey. Alright guys, we'll see you in a few minutes. This is what happens when you forget to buy rubber gloves and you do work on your engine. Alright, so it is, the new one is installed. It took a little bit of manipulation with a pry bar and a hammer. Hopefully I didn't screw anything up. Had to take off a hose or two to get to it. But all in all, I think that was took me about an hour to get that in. So here is the big, well, one of the questions. A, will it start now? And then B, when I put it all back together, will it no longer be in limp mode? So let's find out, shall we? Let me go wide angle since we're not right up on my face. Hey, well, still up on my face, but in any case, cross your fingers. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the big moment. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Well, she started. I'm not sure if she would have started either way, but started. And if it's working right, when I put my finger over, or my hand over this hose, it should be full of suction, and when I completely cover it with my hand, it should almost kill the engine. So here we go. That's not bad. So I have no idea if that means it worked or not. But second part of this video will be me driving down the street and hopefully no longer in limp mode. This is a quick update. I have changed out the turbo resonator. That wasn't it. I changed out the lower hose. I don't remember which one it's called. There's two turbo hoses. One's an intake, one's an outtake. I changed one of those. When I looked at the other one, which I actually originally thought was a radiator or radiator hose, turned out it was also one of the turbo hoses, which means I should have looked at that at the very beginning. I looked at it and I thought, again, it was a radiator hose because both of them go to the bottom of what looks like the radiator. It's not actually the radiator, it's a casing that holds the radiator, but it's a separate compartment. It actually goes to what's called the intercooler, I believe. So, let me show you what I discovered. Let's see here. Which is which? I think, is this the one? Okay, so this was the one that I thought was bad. This was the large one. This one went on nice and easy, the new one. There weren't any other problems other than the fact, let's face the sun, that it was covered in a lot of oil. But, you know, I've got 90,000 miles, not covered, but there were areas. 90,000 miles on a diesel. There's going to be a dirty engine. And the parts inside that engine and around that engine are going to be dirty and greasy. So, this is the hose, the smaller one now. That was the other one down there. Where is it? Down there. Boom. This is the other one that I should have looked at right from the very start. But again, I thought this was, because it looks like it's at the bottom of the radiator, it's the radiator hose. When I took it off, upon further inspection, can you see that crack right there? Yep. So that was a huge, let me see if I can squeeze it with the one hand. Watch. There's my huge vacuum leak, causing the turbo to run incorrectly, almost completely failing, causing all the code errors, and causing it to go into limp mode. So, as I said, I got the other new one on, no problem. This is the new replacement for the one that's cracked. Unfortunately, it does not go on so easy. I don't know if it's because it's an aftermarket, it's not the original OEM, probably, but it does not go on easy. Yesterday I spent probably about 2 hours, 10 attempts at trying to put it on where I only had the car or the truck jacked up like 3 inches. So now, let's see if you can see that. Now I have it up on these, let me go at an angle. There we go. I have it up on these ramps that I have. So it's a little bit higher. The end result was, on the 10th try last night, I ended up kinking my neck so bad that I spent about 4 hours with ibuprofen and an ice pack. So needless to say, I waited till this morning, because I was done last night, to attempt it again, because I'm not going anywhere until I can get this fixed. So I've got a version of Vaseline. It's actually it's my medication for my psoriasis on my knees and elbows, but it's ointment based, so it's like Vaseline. So I'm putting that on the inside of the fitting here. You can see it's a little greasy, and going to try with all my might from different angles that I can hopefully get now that it's up a little higher, to manipulate that and maneuver it onto the nipple on the bottom. I'm literally tried. I'm 240 pounds, give or take, and I tried with all my might yesterday to get that on. but hopefully now that it's up a little higher, I can get a better angle on it. So wish me luck. Next part of this video will be whether or not I got it on. But right now it won't even run. I turned it over and it dies because it's a complete vacuum leak. So wish me luck. Okay, so bad hair. A couple days later, let me kind of catch you guys up on exactly what it is I did. So as I mentioned, I had a turbo problem. It went into limp mode. What I ended up changing out, I will now individually show you and explain what I did. Put some light on this situation. There we go. So this is a turbo resonator, and it basically is a muffler for your turbo. My turbo is all the way back underneath. So I added that. That was $105. I put a brand new air filter in here. Some of the screws that hold this together were no longer holding together, so I added some new screws and made sure it was nice and tight, including a little bit of Gorilla Tape here because there was some air getting out there. So it's important that there's no air leaking at all, both intake and output. You want to make sure with your turbo that there is absolutely no air leaking. So then we're going to go down below. I changed out, let's see if I can do this on the rocks, if that doesn't hurt too much. Let's see here. I changed out that hose right there. Hopefully you're looking at it because I don't feel like laying down in the rocks. And let me move this out of the way. I changed, hope this is not horrible video, this hose as well. Now the hose I just showed you actually had a huge split in it. Problem is, it's connected to what looks like the bottom of the radiator or radiator, depending on where you're from. It actually wasn't that. It's actually connected to the I don't actually know what it's connected to. But in any case, when you look at it, you think to yourself, if you're any type of mechanic or just common sense mechanic person, you think it's definitely a radiator hose. And it's going to have antifreeze and water in it. But no, it's actually the turbo lines. One is the input, one is the output. So there was a leak in the input. That ended up being the main problem. So I changed that out. Also, while doing it, I put myself a new air filter here. So there's an air filter there, new air filter here. This is called the cabin filter. So that filters the air going into the cabin when you have the heater or air conditioning on. It all comes right through there. So you definitely want a fresh one on there. So yeah, in conclusion, it was a lot of work. In fact, I could not get on the last hose that I showed you, the bottom one. I blew out my shoulder trying to get it on, and eventually I had to slowly drive at about 30 miles an hour to a diesel shop that I took it to the day before, and the guy was able to get it on there for me pretty easily and didn't charge me. I gave him $20 for, I told him buy yourself some lunch on me. So all in all, I got discounted on the prices. Had it not been discounted, I would have paid about $600 or $700. So I guess my lesson for you, if you have, this is an 08 Sprinter 24J, is the Itasca Navion model I have. If you have a model similar to this, Mercedes diesel V6, there's no DEF in this one, or DEF for those of you who don't know what it is. I suggest if you have any kind of a limp mode, first thing to do is climb down underneath and check both of those hoses that look like they are going to the bottom of the radiator. They're actually going to the bottom of a cooler, like the AC cooler, not the radiator itself. Check those lines carefully. You will save yourself a bunch of money. One hose is about $179 brand new. The other one is about $100 brand new, give or take. So you definitely want to check those first and save yourself a couple $100 in, trying other things. Because what's going to happen is it's going to set off a bunch of sensors and tell you that the sensors are wrong. And then the sensors start going for $75.
$175. And then there's one underneath all the way back there. You can maybe see some writing on it. That one right there that hooks up to the turbo is anywhere from $400 to $800. So before trusting anybody and replacing sensors, because they usually don't go out so easily, first thing to check is your hoses. Definitely check your hoses. And you know, if you want to take the time, clean your EGR valve. Definitely a good thing to do from time to time. Pull it out and clean it. There's YouTube videos on how to do that. It's pretty simple. So I did that as well. So she's running a lot better now. PD is a happy camper. I'm a happy camper now that I know that I'm good to go and continue my adventures. So hope this is educational to some, and you learn a few things as I have learned along the way. So thank you all. Have a good day.